Thank you for being so accommodating, friend. In case you haven't caught on, I just slit my dick down your throat, and you thanked me for it.
Hey Zedheads, welcome to our podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Karen. Duncan.
Karen, what happened? You sound a little under the weather.
Fuckity fuck, it's me, I swear.
No, I'm Karen. And this is the Walking Dead Cast episode 241. Karen is out for the week. We had been planning to have her take a break at some point. That was always the plan. And she hated this episode. So I'm like, why don't you take a break this week? And so luckily, Duncan, you were available. And you're like, I fucking hated this episode too.
I know. Oh, don't even get me started. No, I'm kidding.
It's been a crazy week. We saw people we care about being forced under the rule of a reckless, ruthless, narcissistic, misogynist bully.
Then The Walking Dead came on.
So how have you been doing? It's good. Good to have you back on.
Well.
Too bad
Thanks.
We couldn't get Melissa. She had something else going on, but she said to say hi.
Yeah. Hey, Melly. And hey, Karen.
Yeah. Karen will be back next week, by the way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been well, just keeping the gears grinding in my brain, working on some math and that type of stuff. How about you?
Good. It's been really busy doing a lot of podcasting. I was on the Fear Me podcast done by Kim, one of our listeners, and that was a lot of fun. And it was her and her husband and I think his brother. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun to talk Walking Dead with people different than you're used to because it's a different dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
So check that out, people. But yeah, I've been good. So you want to just jump in?
Yeah, sure.
Right,
let's do it.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's our Deadcast Top 5. This time it's our Top 5 highlights for Season 7, Episode 4, Service. So what did you think?
Thought it was painful to watch, man. Seeing our group just being degraded and pressed down lower and lower, licking those boots. And I just wanted to say right off the bat that was a great intro clip.
Yeah, that's
slid my dick
classic,
right down your throat.
Classic comic quote, right?
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite all-time moments from the comic. Definitely.
See, that's the thing. What you just did there is exactly how I felt about this episode. It's like, oh, man, that was so hard to watch. But did you hear what he said? I mean, yeah. I know some people are like, you asshole for even thinking that. But, I mean, there's definitely a sick, twisted part of me that loves seeing Negan twist the knife in their back.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And in part because we know this is our heroes being pushed to their low point, and it's not going to stay like this. And I don't even think they're going to have very many episodes like this, but this is the episode where Negan comes and just denigrates everyone in Alexandria. And this
New World Order has taken hold.
That's right. One listener, Chris Plunkett, really summed it up well, I thought. So I'm going to read what he wrote. He said, I thought it was pretty amazing. The pacing this season so far feels like a, quote, after. For me, after a death or a tragedy, life feels surreal. Time may feel faster or slower. It's hard to get my bearings. It's hard to see the characters we care most about feeling this way, but it makes for such a compelling story. They'll be back on top, and the feeling then will be so much greater and earned. So it's like the harder they fall, the better it's going to feel when they get, when Negan gets what's coming to him. Assuming
Definitely.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah, the lower you go, it's just higher and higher to the peak, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. All right, let's get into the top 5. What's your number 5?
Oh, my number 5, I'm just going to jump right into it. Judith is a bastard.
Why do you say that?
Oh, she was born out of wedlock. Just being technical.
I was like, what do you have against Judith? God, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, dude, that was amazing to hear Rick just come right out and say that.
Oh my God. I started getting like emotional, I'll say, as soon as he started saying, I had this friend, and I knew he was going to say something about Shane, and I was like, wow, it's crazy just hearing him, bring up Shane and talk about that, because he never does.
Never.
But then where he went from that and just straight up said Judith isn't mine, like, oh my God, I like was totally caught off guard by that, and I'm sure that a lot of people were really surprised to hear that, because it's been an ongoing point of debate for a while.
It is, and you kind of wonder if Rick is an idiot about it or just doesn't want to think about it. So it was actually good to hear him just sort of accept it. And one reason why it took us off guard is, or at least for me, I was expecting him to say something about Shane betraying him, and he didn't even mention that. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of betraying him with Lori, but he said, they thought I was dead.
They thought I was dead. Yeah. Like he understood. He was willing to forgive him, but it was just Shane's attitude moving forward that he couldn't deal with.
Mm-hmm. And that was significant because Rick has experience living with an uncomfortable truth, and that's kind of what this episode was about.
Exactly. That it shows how much he can deal with and how much he can endure just to get through and keep going and keep people safe and alive.
Right. But also it was showing that it's really important for him to keep Judith safe, and that's one reason why he doesn't want to be reckless, I think.
Yeah, that too. Definitely.
And it was just really good to hear him. I always love when they talk about characters past. And so it just made me feel good to hear him talk about Shane. I have this friend. And then it was so weird. Because,
me too.
Because Michonne, you're like, oh yeah, Michonne, who we know so
Never
well,
met him.
Didn't even know anything about Shane. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, crazy. Michonne appeared at the episode where the farm burned down.
The episode after Shane died.
Yeah, and Andrea was just about to be killed by some walkers, and she sliced their heads off, and you just see her hooded silhouette.
Right.
Which was a great.
Not Denai Guerrera, by the way.
Oh wow, interesting.
Don't know who that was, but.
Oh yeah, but also thinking about it now, Rick telling that story about Judith and everything also goes to show you that he's not an idiot. He understands the situation. Mm-hmm. He's not stupid, and he has a plan. Basically, he had a plan for the Judith thing, which is to just roll with it.
Yep.
He's formulating something now. Like the gears are moving in his brain.
And I love that he's a good man. It made me feel like, man, what a good man. He just took this child who he knows isn't his, and he's like, oh, it's mine now. She's mine now. And just seeing him pick her up earlier on in the episode made me feel like, oh, even though he's sort of crushed and defeated, he still's got to continue on being a dad. And I like that.
Yeah, and it's the last piece he has of his best friend.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if he thinks about it that way. It seemed kind of like he spoke about him somewhat affectionately, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it did to me. I mean, he's got way more positive memories than negative memories with the guy,
Yeah, except
shit got crazy and your relationship was torn apart. But before that, they were, best friends for who knows how long.
We used to share French fries, and then I stabbed him in the stomach.
And Carl shot him in the head.
Yeah, good old days. It's back when things were simpler.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. Number 5. So my number 5 is Negan is an asshole.
Yes.
Which is pretty much, you can't really argue with that. I saw some people don't like Jeffrey Dean Morgan's cadence. He kind of talks like this, and
it's a little repetitive.
It is a little repetitive. You're right in the way he moves, but and also just that they say he's a one-note character. I really think, Darth Vader was a one-note character. I think the point of Negan right now is that he's a total asshole and he's in charge, and that's basically it. And we're watching this. He's a no holds barred bully, and we're watching to see how our heroes that do have depth and shades react to that. It's like the zombies. We don't need the zombies to have character. We just want to see how the people react to those threats. I think Negan could become a deeper character. He probably will, but right now, actually, I think it's more effective that he's just a force.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a force. This is the Negan show.
And there's no chinks in his armor right now. He's just solid asshole and dangerous.
He's a bag full of mashed up assholes.
That's it. And so with that all in mind, like I said, there's part of me that likes seeing him twist the knife. And so there was so much asshole in this episode. So here's just a few examples. Right off the bat, everyone's all depressed and he comes whistling up with his bat swinging.
Yep. And while you're mentioning that was actually one of my numbers was Negan's backlit theatrical arrival to Alexandria, whistling and dun da da, dong dong. When I was watching that, seeing a silhouette projected onto the walls of the canvas over the gate to Alexandria, I felt like I was watching The Dark Knight again, the first time I was like this monster, like huge scaled villain, just like da 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 coming up to the door.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, this is great.
One of the listeners had a comment that Negan is to Rick as the Joker is to Batman or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
And then at some point he says to Rick, I know we started off on the wrong foot. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of an understatement. He said about Daryl, no, he's the help. You don't look at him, you don't talk to him, and I don't make you chop anything off of him, which is pretty rude. He said, I said half your shit and half is what I say it is. So suddenly,
yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, that could be anything.
That was decoral, right?
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think at one point he picked up an Orange Crush, which might be what Denise got for Tara.
Yep. Talking Dead said that was a direct reference.
Mm-hmm. And he just took like one sip and then tossed it away.
Yeah, that was brutal. That's just uncalled for. You just don't waste food in the post-apocalypse environment.
And then the episode's called Services, which Negan's service basically is not killing them, I think. That's
and killing those two walkers outside the gate.
You guys need help. That was bullshit. I mean, they don't need help with that.
No.
Probably my favorite was when he picked up the video camera and he's all, what do we have here? Got my fingers crossed for a little freaky deaky.
Yeah. I think that's what everybody's always hoping for when they find a video camera.
And then it was cool what he actually did see, the callback to Rick looking like a wild, crazy man.
Yeah, the wild man of Borneo.
Yeah, just like talking about, I don't know how those people died or whatever he was saying.
Like, I killed people. I did all this bad shit. Negan's like, oh, I would not have messed with that guy.
Yeah. But that's not you anymore, is it? Nope.
Nope.
And he's all, I really got to shave this shit, which he also said when he was looking at Abraham.
That's so funny, man, because in the comics, he's clean shaven.
Right. I wonder if he will shave it.
Yeah, like that was the only thing that threw me off about Negan's portrayal initially on the show is the facial hair.
Yeah, why
if he loses the hair, I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. I have no explanation for that. But if they shave it, he's Negan,
And well, I also miss, and I think this is a little too cartoony, but that red, I don't know what you call it, like a sash or whatever.
Oh, around his neck?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bandana type thing or whatever it is.
I think it's too cartoony.
I like it. I think it's cool, man.
He said, I can't be the only one to notice she got a fat lady in charge of rations, which is a
I wrote that down too.
Thing to say. And then it was pretty fucked up the way he was so aggressive towards her.
Yeah. Oh, it got his point across though. Like, you're in charge of guns, keeping track of all the guns and ammunition. That shit. Life or death,
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Well, especially when he's the one threatening to kill her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see.
He had another good line was, excuse the shit out of my goddamn French.
I didn't hear that. And then probably the worst is he's like expecting a thank you because he's not taking their food. Is that too much to ask? Which is actually a relief. Because I thought, okay, if Negan's coming to take half, then he's going to take half their food, and we've seen that they are already low. So it actually is kind of a relief. But see, I'm having this whole Stockholm syndrome thing myself. I'm like, oh, that was nice of him, and I'm like, no.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then what else? And then he does, that famous line about "I slid my dick down your throat and you thank me for it." That's like, if somebody told me that, I think I would just, I don't know what I would do, kill him or kill myself.
Or cower.
Yeah, it's like that's the worst thing. I hope I never have to hear that in my whole life. So that's a bunch of assholishness from Negan.
That's great. Yeah, and oh man, there's just so much good stuff from Negan in this episode. The one of the other quotes that he said to Rick that packed quite a lot of punch was "Careful how you look at me, Rick."
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, they had some issues last time just from the way that Rick was looking at him. He didn't like the way he's looking at him, So
and Rick,
that means something this episode.
Yeah, and Rick was giving him that look, and he didn't say
he can't control it.
He didn't say thank you right away. It sort of makes me wonder if Andrew Lincoln just can't bring himself to be completely cowardly. He's like,
come on, Mr. Gimple, I can't do this.
I can't. No, sorry.
Not within Rick's character.
Exactly. But it's good to see that Rick has some spirit left in him. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, Negan, you got to do something about that.
Playing with fire. Seriously. One of the other funny things I noticed was that Negan says Rick a lot.
Yeah.
Which kind of reminds me of how Rick says Morty a lot.
What does he say?
I'm talking about Rick and Morty.
Oh, I never watched that.
Rick from Rick and Morty. Like, you love it.
I've been told to watch that.
It's like, come on, Morty, we got to do this, Morty. And Morty, if this doesn't happen, then, it's like Morty every other word. And Rick says Negan like Negan says Rick like every other sentence when he's talking to Rick. And every time he says it, it's a taunt.
Yeah.
It's come on, Rick. Like every time.
I kind of, I wish they would have made this episode 60 minutes and been more economical about it, because the people who don't like Negan already and aren't into this storyline, it's just a sludge to get through this episode, I think.
It's just boots right on the face the whole time.
Yeah, for 90, it's like we're going to show you something you don't want to see, and we're going to stretch it out and put a lot of commercials in there.
Yeah.
It's like you're being Negan'd. And even I started to feel like, this shtick is getting a little repetitive, like you said. So I really hope that we don't get any more episodes where the whole point is to show Negan with his heel on people's head. But I feel like we needed this one, though. We needed him to come to Alexandria and show them who's boss. Yeah,
and like they were saying on Talking Dead, it's like they expected him in a week, but no. He's going to keep them on their toes.
Yeah,
this is psychological warfare, just like he was doing with Daryl. It's trauma-based, sleep deprivation. It's mind control. It's keeping you off your toes and just smacking you down at every chance they get.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma,
unpredictability.
Yeah. Keeping you on your toes, expecting him at any moment, staying prepared all the time. It's just how he rolls.
Smart. Okay, what's your number 4?
Let's see. My number 4 was just Negan in general. The Negan show, basically the Cleveland show. He's my favorite character from the comic books, other than Rick. I think I like the protagonists, but I also really, really like the bad villains. Like Vader is my favorite. So it's funny you mentioned Vader. The Joker is my favorite, as you guys know.
Nico's like that too. He loves Kylo Ren, and he was a Dalek for Halloween one year.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I've been waiting for years for Negan, and I'm loving it.
So you think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's doing a pretty good job?
Yeah. I loved him as the comedian, and
me too.
I hope it's too bad he lost so much weight, I guess, for his past role, because he'd be a little bit better if he was a little bit beefier for Negan. Like if he was Watchmen Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Negan, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But, he's still got time to put on a little weight.
You got to listen to the panel I did with him. Have you listened to that?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. Actually, I started listening to it. And then I was like, wait, what am I doing? I need to listen to the Walking Dead cast coverage of the episode. So I switched to the episode.
Dude, check it out. Greg Nicotero's talks a lot in the first part, but then Jeffrey Dean Morgan gets going. And
nice. I saw you guys got a great picture together.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite panels too. It was just really, really fun. Okay,
great.
My number 4 is the psychology of this episode. It's
Awesome.
just my amateur psychology, I don't know, diagnosis, but I think there's a few forces at work here. For one thing, I was thinking, well, why don't they just shoot Negan through the gate here, or Carl when he's flying off the handle? Why not just shoot him in the head, and maybe it's unpredictable what would happen, but at least maybe there's a chance that that would turn out well, better than what's going on now. And then I was thinking, well, maybe Negan should have had some explicit consequences on the table just to explain why people aren't doing that. If any harm comes to me, then here's what's going to happen. But then I thought, no, the point of all this is that he knows that he has them so under his thumb and so scared that he doesn't even need to do that. And that's kind of what he needs. That's how he needs to operate his organization, because it's a big organization. So he's got to have everyone afraid. And there's this syndrome or something, a phenomenon called learned helplessness, where people or animals are exposed to some kind of painful or negative stimulus that they couldn't escape, and then they later fail to try to escape in new situations where they actually could do something about it. So it's like,
that's great.
They had this experiment, and this is really sad, by the way. It happened in 1967. But, it sounds sad to me, but there's dogs with shock collars, and some dogs could end the shock by pressing a lever, but the lever had no effect. And then they put the dogs in boxes where the floor was electrocuted, but they could escape just by jumping over this partition. So the dogs that could end the shock with the collars got out, but the ones who couldn't with the collars, even though they could have got out of the boxes, they just learned that shock was inescapable, so they just laid down and whimpered.
Wow, this sounds like a really sadistic experiment. I kind of want to find the people that did it and Negan the shit out of them.
I know. I mean, like I said, I think that's really fucked up. But don't let that obscure the message, which is basically, if people feel helpless in one situation, then they might just be afraid to try to get out, and that's what we all do to a certain extent. We kind of get smacked around a little bit, and then we're afraid to go out of our comfort zone. And if you have a severe trauma like these guys have had, then you might be really afraid. Like, if I do something, someone's going to die. So it's all about feeling like you have no control. But, I feel like humans are different than animals in that we can be conscious of this kind of thing. And even though it feels dangerous, we can go outside of our comfort zone little by little and regain that control and figure out ways to get it back. So that's
I hope so.
Yeah. So Negan says shit like, widows, I love them right after their husbands go and they're just empty inside, but usually not for long.
Oh God.
Now that's enough to incite rage in anyone. And I think the point of him saying stuff like that is because he wants people to have repeated occurrences of feeling that rage and not being able to do anything about it, so that they learn, okay, there's nothing I can do.
I think you're 100% like nailed the psychology there.
Yeah. And so there's a couple, there's another thing. The Stockholm syndrome is a little bit different. So Negan rules we saw last episode by carrot and stick. There's a lot of threats, but also rewards if you do what he wants. With Rick and his crew, we haven't seen much reward. It's all been threats. But I looked up Stockholm syndrome. It says feelings of trust or affection felt in certain cases of kidnapping or hostage taking. And also people essentially mistake a lack of abuse from their captors for an act of kindness, which is kind of what I was talking about before. If he says, okay,
I'm not taking the food.
Yeah, then it's like, oh, thank you. So I think there's a lot of that going on with his people, and and then the last thing is just sort of bully. So when people get abused, sometimes they turn around and become abusers to people who are weaker than them.
Yeah, that's really common.
Yeah, and so we saw a little bit of that with Rick. Like, he's taking shit from Negan, and then he turns around and threatens to knock Spencer's jaw off or whatever he said.
Yeah, I'll break your jaw and knock your teeth out.
Yeah, which is, I mean, Spencer said something really shitty, something about Glenn and Abraham, basically blaming it on Rick. But you could tell that Rick had a lot of pent up frustration too.
Oh yeah, I was really surprised he didn't just fly off the handle at that point. Wow,
I thought he was going to kill him. I thought, oh shit.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, oh, there goes Spencer.
So there's that, and then the very last thing, I really don't know how to characterize this, but Daryl was so quiet, and I wonder if there's part of the story that we didn't see there, or if it's just a result of like them increasing torture with him. But I know that
there's part we didn't see. I mean, it has to do with them increasing torture on him, though, for sure.
But he's always been really quiet, and it looks like he's just totally retreated into that to the point where he can't even bring himself to say a word. But I'm that's a bit of a mystery to me.
Yeah, and there's some speculation about that we'll get into
in one of your later points.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your number 4?
Well, we can just jump right into it. My number 4 is Daryl, and seeing Rick's reaction and the speculation of Daryl and how he doesn't say a word. You're right. He doesn't say a word, but he may have communicated a word or two. There's a theory going around that he was blinking in the pattern of Morse code to send Rick a message about the location of Negan's camp. Or maybe something else.
Right. Because you say that because he was blinking his eyes and then what happened?
At one point you can see a series of quick blinks and then he kind of holds his eyes closed for a little bit longer for like a long blink. So it looks like he's doing ... dash. And people had speculated that he did EAST ... dash ... dash. Which would be theoretically pointing the direction of Negan's stronghold.
Okay. I thought it was ... which is fuckity fuck.
Yeah.
Help me.
I just thought it'd be so cool, man, if they incorporated that. Because before I had heard this theory, there was a scene where we're following Michonne. I think it was right in the beginning, and she's walking out to go practice her sniping, and she walks past a giant poster in one of the rooms that's a Morse code poster. Okay. And I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's a really cool poster to have, a nice Morse code poster. Like that could come in handy, knowing Morse code, especially in this type of situation where electricity, for communications may not be available in a lot. I already had Morse code on my mind, and then somebody had mentioned that it seemed like Daryl was blinking patterns, and I just thought that was a really cool idea. Let's see if I can find who it was to give credit to this person.
You'd think also that they would be using smoke signals, as funny as that sounds, between communities,
Yep. Yeah, okay, it's Victoria Crow who mentioned this on Facebook, and I was notified about that by Erica, which is, I don't know, I just thought it was a really cool idea, but also let's just talk more about the Daryl situation in general, because I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean,
it was. What was the point of bringing him there? I think it was just to show, look how I've worked your guy over, and now I'm taking him back.
It's a reminder to Rick, like, listen, like, we have your people, at least one of them, like, you got to play ball. It was also to show him, like, yep, he's all busted up, he's broken, and then Rick, the way he was looking at Daryl, like, when he first saw him, is just like heartbreaking, like giving him this
looked
look.
So bad.
Oh my God, like what did they do to him?
Yeah,
he looks terrible. All the blinking, and
his eyes were all like, it looked like he had black eyes almost.
Puffier than usual. Because Retus's eyes always look like he just got beat up.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's got perma bags under his eyes. Basically, they're kind of like always look partially closed, but. Yeah, they added a little eyeshadow under the bags to make it look like a fresh beating. But yeah, then Rick's like, listen, now that you can see that we're following the rules, that we can play by the rules, like I want to ask you if Daryl can stay with us. And he's like, no, but maybe Daryl can convince me himself. What do you say, Daryl? You want to stay? And that's just like a further example of Negan just testing everything.
Dude, I didn't even put this together, but he said that, and then later Dwight said, if you want this, you can just tell me. It makes me, I don't think this happened, but the first thing I thought was, would they fucking cut out his tongue?
No, I don't think so. I think this is...
They wouldn't do that to Daryl.
Yeah, it's just symptoms of his conditioning that he's turning it down. But
it's just interesting that it's about talking. They know he won't talk. So they're taunting him.
That too. And it was like, it reminded me of when Negan had asked Dwight, you don't have to go out and hunt this guy down. Send that fuckboy to go do it. That other useless guy. You could be doing more important shit. And he's like, no, like, I like doing it. I want to go. I like doing the missions. And he's like, that's right. That's my boy. That's my boy. Yeah, that type of thing where, like, he gives you the option to show the fact that you don't want to play ball, but he wants you to play fucking ball.
Right.
And Daryl saying, he also said, like, you earn what you take, which I think is important. Like, you don't want to be given anything. You don't want to let people give you something. Like, if Daryl's going to get home, he's got to get home himself. He's not going to take almost said the governor, take Negan's, open door and let Negan let him go. It's like, he's not going to take the bike, or he's not going to be given the bike that Dwight is offering him. If he wants that bike, he's got to take it. You earn what you take, which is potentially an important part of Negan's psychology.
I think personally that's his whole thing, that's his whole philosophy. But then you wonder, like, does he respect other people who do that? It seems like it's hard to say. He basically wants everyone else to just kneel down. I'm interested to learn more about Negan. Absolutely.
Because he's definitely a multi-layered character. Do you remember in the comic books if he comes across initially as single-dimensional?
I think so, yes. I think so. And then over time, he definitely gets deeper for sure. Yeah. But most of the characters are like that. I was saying for sure. Michonne, she was pretty one-dimensional for the first season she was on. Or half season anyway. All right, so stop me if you've heard this one, but Negan, Daryl, and you are on a boat, which actually it could be you because this is an ad, and it's for Walker Stalker Cruise by Sixth Man. Attention all Walker Stalkers and everything in between. Skybound's The Walking Dead is at it again and ready to bring the post-apocalyptic world to the open ocean. And that is because they're doing the second annual Walker Stalker Cruise on February 3rd through 6th, 2017. And it goes from Miami to Great Stirrup Key in the Bahamas. This is, by all accounts, because I have actually talked to many people who have done this. In fact, one guy, one of our listeners, he went on the cruise and he told me that he bought a ticket immediately after he got off the cruise because he wanted to go again. Everyone I talked to said they had a great time. In fact, it kind of kills me because I was supposed to go last year and I got sick and I couldn't go. But it's a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. You'll be on this big, fancy cruise ship with Norman Reedus, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Chandler Riggs, Alana Masterson, Michael Cudlitz, Greg Nicotero, and more, and also 2,500 other zombie fans, which is really fun to just talk with other Walking Dead fans and be on this fantastic vacation with a lot of people who share your passion for the show. It's a 3-day round trip cruise on the Norwegian Pearl, including all the amenities of that world-class ship. Infinite new memories, one open ocean, best vacation of your year. So you can hang out with other fans of the show and enjoy incredible experiences. There'll be Q&A panels. There's a chance they'll be hosted by me. I'm not sure, maybe not. I haven't heard yet, but either way, they'll be great. And there'll be celebrity guests and concerts and a bunch more activities. And you can do photos and autographs with your favorite celebrity guests. Those aren't included in the cabin fare, but if you pay a little extra, you can get those. And you should act quick because cabins are filling up. So if you go to walkerstalkercruise.com/walkingdeadcast, you can book yours. That's walkerstalkercruise.com/walkingdeadcast. Okay, so my turn. My number 3, this is a shorter one, but it was a little confusing to me, the whole business with the guns on the first viewing, because Michonne, it started with Michonne taking that rifle out, and then I think maybe it was supposed to be confusing, but it wasn't confusing to me in a good way. It was just like, am I missing something? And then we saw
me too.
that Rosita had a gun, and then
Spencer also.
Yeah, and 2 guns were missing, and blah, 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 blah. So basically what happened was you could see from Olivia's inventory that 2 guns were missing, a Glock 9 and a 22. And Rick knew to look in Spencer's house because Spencer had taken some stuff before. So when when Rick was like, who's got the guns? And Eugene was like, no, not everyone's here. He was talking about Spencer, even though I thought at first she was talking about Michonne, then they cut to Rosita, so I thought he was talking about her. So anyway, Rick goes to Spencer's house. He finds the guns and the food and the alcohol. And so he brings him back and saves Olivia's life. And he should have been a little more careful. He was like, shaking that bag to get him out. I don't think you should really handle guns that way. They just flung them on the floor. But then
there's a very, very low probability that most guns, especially Glocks, will fire if dropped.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Good to know. Okay, so he's not a total idiot. So, and then the rifle, I guess he just wanted, even though the rifle apparently that Michonne had was from, she said, the outpost. I think that means the Savior's outpost. Is that where she got it?
The Savior's place where they stabbed all those dudes in their heads in their sleep, and where Maggie and Carol were kept captive, I believe.
So that would not have been accounted for, but Rick still wanted to give it over because probably he didn't want her to get caught with it and be in danger
in the future,
and also just a show of good faith. And I don't think Michonne I don't know, did she realize that they didn't actually have to do that?
I don't know. I think she did, because he sort of explained the situation. But this brings me to another thing that I noticed, that he wanted to, as a gesture of good faith, to hand over this gun and get rid of all the guns so that in the future, Negan wouldn't find any and wouldn't kill anybody as a result.
Right.
But at the same time, he lied about Maggie. And if Negan ends up seeing Maggie or finding out that Maggie's alive, that could result in, somebody being punished for that. So he's playing with fire, man.
He's taking a risk there. And I forgot to mention, Rosita killed those zombies because the only reason why she did that is because she saw one of them had a gun and she wanted it. And so now she has a gun. And I think the coolest thing about that is, they had so many guns before that one little gun didn't seem like any big deal. But now that all the guns are taken and it's, Negan is going to get pissed if anybody has a gun and probably kill somebody, then suddenly that one gun that Rosita has, and it doesn't even have any bullets in it, but it just seems like a big deal. And we know that something is going to happen with that gun.
Yeah, it's Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Showing up in the first
act or whatever.
First act of the season. And Rosita with all.
Rosita. It's like Beavis
I have a
almost.
nude. Rosita, I see you have braces.
You have a gun.
You can play with my gun.
Oh God.
I have a new nickname for Rosita after her rampage there, Rambo Zeta. Which Rambo and all
that was a great scene. I enjoyed it. I always love when I get a little hit of, oh yeah, this feels like a zombie movie. And some of those came pretty close to getting her. And there was one creepy one that had a mustache, and I loved it.
Yeah, and I liked how we got to see a fresh, juicy, plump Walker. They've been so emaciated and overly rotten and
skin
disgusting.
Just flailing off.
Yeah, amazing this season. But we got to see a regular person as a Walker this episode, which kind of threw me off for a second. It was cool because you never see that nowadays, But didn't she say that she saw your dead people to Dwight? So some of them must have been saviors.
Right. Okay. Where are we?
It is my number dos, Rosita and Spencer, which, it's just interesting to see. I see the seeds of rebellion are starting to blossom or starting to sprout with Spencer, and he's calling Rick out on his bullshit. He's talking shit about Rick, behind his back to Rosita. I feel like something is going to happen with Spencer.
Yeah. And part of that is because Spencer was not there to see what Negan did to Abraham and Glenn. So
yeah,
he didn't experience that. But also, he never trusted Rick, and his father is dead, and
yeah, and
a lot of
and
people
also
are dead.
going back to the beginning
His
of this
mother's
episode.
dead.
Oh yeah, everybody's dead. His
Yeah.
brother, right?
Right.
But going back to the beginning of this episode, when Negan comes and knocks on the door, metaphorically or speaking, Spencer answers it, and he's like, "And who are you?" Like, are you like Negan's like, "You have got to be fucking kidding me," right? And like, is he fucking serious? Didn't he hear about how two of their people just had their heads bashed in with a
Right.
baseball
I
bat
think
wrapped
he's
in
just
barbed wire?
being defiant.
No, there's a difference between being defiant and being like stupid as
He's
shit.
reckless. He's reckless.
Yeah, I guess.
I think.
I mean, wow. I just can't imagine.
Look what he
not
said to
knowing
Rick about Glenn and Abraham.
Yeah.
He,
But Nick again, Rick was just
You're
cowed
making me
by
miss
Negan.
Nick. I wish Nick was
Yeah.
in this.
Rick was just cowed by Negan. So it's one thing to talk shit about the guy who just got his ass handed to him, but it's another thing to be like, who are you? To the fucking mega badass who just like owned your whole community.
Not smart.
I mean, really fucking dumb.
I was a little disappointed. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have been exciting, or I don't know, but that we didn't get to see Rick come back and, at least.
Flip him?
No, when he came back from Negan in the first place.
Like the initial reaction,
Yeah.
breaking it to the crowd and
Yeah.
like telling people what the hell just happened.
Maybe we would need to see the whole explanation, but at least see them come back and, changed people. And the Alexandrians would be like, what happened?
What the fuck happened? Yeah, seriously.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been pretty interesting.
So we don't know exactly how that went down, but I'm sure Rick told everybody, including Spencer, what happened.
Yeah, so there's no way he didn't know what was going on there. He's a dumbass. He's just asking for it.
Yeah.
For it. I just said fur.
It was called
not
for.
From that far south, yeah. He's asking for it. So we got Spencer, who's acting like an idiot. He's, planting seeds of discontent with Rosita, and his own seeds of discontent are sprouting, and he's starting to, confront Rick to some degree. I think something's going to happen there. We have Rosita, who, they got rid of all the guns. Rosita, puts her life at risk, finds another gun. At the end of the episode, she goes up to Eugene and says, "Make me a bullet, make me some bullets." I do not have a good feeling about that. I think she's going to pop a shot at Negan. She might even hit him. She probably will hit him. She'll probably shoot Negan. It will not be fatal, and it's going to end up in all-out war. Boom.
We'll see. I mean, I feel like this is Negan's season, so nothing's going to happen super quick, He's going to be around for a while.
No. Yeah, I hope so. I'm a glutton for a horrible, horrible villain.
Yeah, of course. I feel the same way. Like, I want to see our heroes get put through the ringer and most of them come out on top.
Yeah, and oh man, if Negan is like the Joker to Batman, if Negan is Rick's Joker, then we're going to see him around for a long time. The Joker always ends up being captured and stopped and escaping and coming back. So I would like that to see that.
Unless you're Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Okay, my turn. So number 2. There's a lot of reluctant compliance going on, but most of the people are actually feeling defiant and they're just kind of biding their time. But there's some genuine compliance, I feel like. So I'd say the most compliant ones right now, it looks like anyway, are obviously Rick is the most, and Eugene and Daryl. And Eugene's fixing that radio to give to the saviors. People are sort of trying to take care of offerings. Even Michonne, I think that deer was for the saviors. Might have been a little bit of a red herring to disguise that she was practicing to kill Negan, but also it was let's have some stuff ready for them. And then the defiant ones, Carl is a big one. He flies off the handle.
What balls on that kid? His giant man-sized balls, as Negan put it. He's putting his life on the line big time there to protect that medicine. And he's not putting up with that bullshit. Like you said, half, we're keeping half our fucking medicine.
And then
gotta give him credit at least. I mean, he put everybody in danger, and it was a terrible decision.
That's the thing is, and how I don't know if I was in that situation, I might get reckless and end up causing another. I might have been Daryl.
Yeah, I mean,
punching Negan in the face, which
it just depends where your breaking point is. How much can you endure before you snap? And when you snap, do you break or do you fight?
Right. Yeah, and that's the way that people under pressure handle things. They either lash out or they shrink. You posture or you retreat. The lashing out seems more honorable sometimes, but sometimes shrinking down and is actually the safest thing to do. So, but it's
like with Daryl, he should have
hard. Yeah. So, anyways, at least according to Negan, he decided to take all the guns because Carl pulled a gun on one of his men. I don't know. I have a feeling he probably would have done that anyway, but took the opportunity to make Carl feel bad about it.
Yep. Problem, reaction, solution.
Then Michonne, she's really torn because she like that first scene I really liked with Michonne and Rick because there were no words, but it was him doing nothing and her taking action, inaction versus action. But he's trying to convince her to cow down, and so she doesn't want to though. She said everything we have we got from fighting, and then she got really pissed off seeing that mattress, which by the way was another huge dick move.
Unbelievable.
Why do
it's
that?
Just like a dog, pissing on something of yours to show that it's theirs now. That's the equivalent of Negan, just pissing all over it, just burning their mattresses. It's mine. Do what I want with it.
And I mean, I assume that they actually do want their people producing stuff that they're going to use, but also I guess it's just also about showing dominance.
Yeah. And you don't want them to be too comfortable.
And as you mentioned, yeah, right, they're not going to be anymore. Rosita and Spencer, they're pretty defiant. Rosita looks like she's one of the most defiant. She's planning something. It was the first time we saw Eric in a while. That was cool
that was good
to see Jordan Woods Robinson.
Yeah, and when he was, kind of peeping over at Aaron and whispering in his ear, kind of agitatedly, I thought for a second, oh my God, Aaron has the guns,
I did too. And because they're like, don't tell, it's not the right time. I forgot what he did say.
I think he was just questioning the overall
plan
situation.
Yeah. So people so what are we going to do here? How are we going to overcome this? And Rick's like, well, we're going to be here for a few years at least. And then Gabriel, he was interesting. I feel like he's defiant, but he's patient about it. And I actually thought it was nice, his optimism. He said,
"Oh my God,
I mean,
so weird."
It was weird, but the message was, "I have faith in you."
For the first time,
don't worry.
He's never.
Yeah, but that was the point. He's like, things change. You and I are friends now, for example. And he just had the way he said it was so creepy, but it was actually pretty nice, I thought.
Oh yeah, it was from the heart. It was heart's in the right place.
Trying to be calming.
It was interesting. They were kind of talking about Father Gabriel on Talking Dead also last night, and they were saying he's always a couple beats off from everybody else. Yeah. Everybody's doing one thing, he's doing another thing. His mind is in a different place, sort of. And
but I found
this is a great example of that.
I don't know if I've ever experienced this, but it was simultaneously creepy and calming. A creepy Buddha.
Yeah, it really was. So weird. And Negan's reaction was great. He's like, "Oh, where is she?" And he's like, "Would you like to pay your respects?" And he's just like, "What the fuck?"
You creepy motherfucker.
Yeah, you creepy. You got the white collar and everything. Damn, dude. It's we're years in the apocalypse at this point, and you're still doing it. Good for you.
And then last thing I wanted to say about compliance and defiance, there was this sign that Rick looked up at It was Alexandria Safe Zone, Mercy for the Lost, Vengeance for the Plunderers.
Vengeance.
I feel like that's a sign of things to come.
A little bit of foreshadowing there. Yeah, I drew that whole sign in my notes for sure.
And it seems like if Negan was smart, he would leave some people back to keep people in line and watch for signs of an uprising. But anyway, that was cool that he looked up at that sign.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little touch, the Alexandria Safe Zone sign. It's cool to see that.
All right. What's your number one?
All right. My number one is Michonne and the message, the hidden message with what she was doing. So it starts off with Michonne waking up early before Rick, finding the stashed gun with the bipod, going out to the car and being a terrible sniper. Just totally wasting 9 good bullets and accomplishing nothing. And but man, did you see her that first shot where she's walking across the field? She looked badass, dude. Like she looked like a warrior.
She did, but she's such a horrible shot.
Oh my God. It's funny. I think there's a different character in the comics who is afflicted similarly, who's great with close range weapons and is just a terrible shot. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can take my word for it. It's not Michonne in the comics, so it was like a sort of a little comic reference there. I felt like, which made me chuckle. But what does happen, right? She wastes all her ammo. She's got no ammo left. She's got a problem to deal with, and she makes the best of her situation and uses her trusty katana. Right. Yeah. So the whole episode plays out. I come back, and at the end of the episode, she goes to the same spot. She looks down and sees the zombie, and with his head like just cleanly sliced in half. And at this point, all the guns are gone. Everything's taken away. And what I realized in that moment was that they don't need their guns to accomplish their goals. I think it was a little bit of foreshadowing that, they may have had their guns taken away, but they're going to solve this problem without their guns. They're going to figure something out. Michonne didn't need her gun to get rid of that walker, and I think that's a metaphor for the group in general and the direction that's take in the future.
It seems like they're going to have to figure something else out. So
I just thought that was a really, really cool little subliminal message in there.
I also liked how she went to, if it's the same zombie you're talking about, she went to slice it, and she swung, and then it just cut right to the head being in half.
Yes,
that was pretty cool. It's kind of artsy, but I liked it.
Oh yeah, and that's a nice sharp blade. If you can cut through a skull like that,
beautiful.
That is unrealistically sharp.
All right, so my number one is Rick and his state of mind, but looking through my notes, I think I pretty well covered that. So I'm just gonna go right into my random notes. So Negan wears one black glove. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. At the end, he's got his hands together, and he's got his right hand. He's got a black leather glove on it. So
like a batting glove kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably,
yeah. That's yeah.
I guess so okay.
Vampire batting glove.
And the bat, by the way, is really effective against the zombies, which made me wonder if that's kind of what he developed it for in the first place.
Maybe. You whack that bat on a zombie's head, got all that infected blood on those barbs. Then if you hit a human with that, it's like being bitten.
Maybe so, yeah.
Hey.
Enid's balloons are a reminder of Glenn, because those are the ones that they released when Alexandria was overrun.
I was wondering what the significance of that was, and damn, that guy was creepy as hell.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna
rub his finger on her
worse.
Face. Careful, little girl. I was like, oh god. I was just imagining how awkward and horrible it would be to have to do that as an actor.
I thought Negan was gonna come along and discipline that guy, but that would have been a bit, I don't know, predictable or something.
Would Negan care? I mean, we'll have to wait and find out what his attitude towards certain things is.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
One thing I just wanted to mention briefly is I think it's interesting that this whole storyline comes along right now with the whole election going on, and I think it was a really nasty election, and people, for one thing, don't worry, I'm not about to